starts in 30 seconds.
Company, second on his previous two starts. Gerard Lyons Trains, ridden by Colin Keane, number 5 in your card.
Ten seconds.
Just a couple more to go now in the opener. Level of intensity being led forward, Endless Endeavour being encouraged in also. Endless Endeavour going into stall number 2. Coworgeous has gone in, so the white flag is raised. Once Endless Endeavour and Mikey O'Sullivan go forward, that's it, we'll be ready to go. That's it, all in for the Irish Stallion Farms European Breeders' Fund Auction Maiden over 6 furlongs. White flag is raised
in play.
And often racing in the opener. And as they race away, Coworgeous got an absolute flyer on the outside and jumped off alongside Stormy Bell. Mac Attack is in between them. One that was a little slow was Binary Code, but quickly playing catch-up. So Stormy Bell goes to the front with Coworgeous towards the outside. Mac Attack is close up on the inner and third. Ben Gunn is prominent with Endless Endeavour next with Level of Intensity. Change of colours, Dulcina down the inside with Millish just outside. They're being followed further back by Little Cody. Then comes Improving Empress Lila. Level of behind these is very demanding with Texas to Tennessee. Binary Code is towards the back, and the early back marker is Alfred Wegener. So they begin the turn at the top of the track now to face the descent, and down they come with Stormy Bell leading Coworgeous. They're being followed in third by Mac Attack. Level of Intensity is 4, Endless Endeavour is 5. Then comes Ben Gunn on the inside of Empress Lila. Just behind them Little Cody. Dulcina is now niggled along. Texas to Tennessee is in front of Very Demanding. They're being followed towards the back by Binary Code, and on the inside Alfred Wegener beginning to straighten up now. Stormy Bell leads them in. Coworgeous right there within a half a length. Then Mac Attack right behind them. Level of Intensity is ridden. Empress Lila is going to come wide. Down the inside Ben Gunn trying to stay on Little Cody. Inside the 2 Stormy Bell continues to push them along in front with Coworgeous trying to get on terms, but it's Stormy Bell and Lee Roach who are beginning to stretch. Coworgeous has come under pressure in second. Mac Attack's trying to stay on again, but Stormy Bell has slipped them and is opening up a wide lead now as they head inside the closing stages. It's Stormy Bell who's going to take the opener for Pat Fahey. Lee Roach the
This event will start in 60 seconds. 60 seconds. This event starts in 30 seconds. In 30 seconds. Ten seconds.
Loading well underway now. Just a couple more to go. Pennsylvania being brought forward, to be followed by Sultan Stall. White flag is raised, so when the favourite goes in, that's it, all loaded.
This event is now in play.
Racing in the book online at Limerick Races, maiden over 7, a little slow behind them, Desha Days, as on the inside Kryptos brings them along. So Kryptos going to lead from Pennsylvania in second, Family Crest third, a little behind, and then towards the inside the Statesman. They're being chased on the outside by Elusive John, and Sultan Stall is just in between this pair. Cashless is last but one, and Desha Days is the early back marker. So heading now towards the end of the back straight, and it is Kryptos and Pat Smollen who lead them into the bend from Pennsylvania, and Porrick Beggy in second. Family Crest, Joseph O'Brien sits third. On the outside of stable companion the Statesman, Emmett McNamara aboard. Sultan Stall, Shane Foley next, and then Elusive John and Gary Carroll. They're being followed by Desha Days, Conor Hobe, and Cashless Kevin Manning back markers. Heading down the hill now, making their way towards the turn in, and Kryptos dictates from the front. Pennsylvania sitting second. On the outside is Family Crest, with just behind this one, half a length further back to the Statesman. Just behind the leading quartet is Sultan Stall. Cashless is beginning to pick up now towards the outside, as Elusive John is ridden, and Desha Days the same, straightening up just over 2.5 to race. And it's Kryptos who still dictates from on the outside now. Asked for effort Pennsylvania. Family Crest is asked to lengthen. Sultan Stall comes with a challenge on the outside, and in between them the Statesman. This group of 5 go clear from Cashless, who's next, and now Sultan Stall is coming home strongly. Pennsylvania has gone to the front. Kryptos dropped quickly out, and Pennsylvania with Sultan Stall have quickly opened up a 4-3-4 length lead, and Sultan Stall over on the near side is beginning to lengthen, with Pennsylvania trying to mount a challenge back again on the far side, but Sultan Stall has it by half a length, and going on by a length is going to take it. Sultan Stall, the Godolphin son of Pivotal, going to take it from Mick Halford and Shane Foley. Pennsylvania is second, then the Statesman in front of Kryptos. Family.
About Spring Fling.
Gone in her coat, Seb. Didn't like her at all. She looked very woolly as well.
Really?
Spring Fling at
I just like the way she won at Haydock. She pulled up a fair bit. She looked like she was going to hose in, and
This
she
event
probably in
starts
front
in 30
a fair way out
seconds.
on her own, really. So, you know, that just took my eye, that run at Haydock.
Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's hard. Why the Maison Rose, Ken? Do you think it's a problem dropping back a furlong?
I think it's going to be
10 seconds.
a slight disadvantage for her. Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of people don't, but I think it's a slight disadvantage for her.
And what was it saying about the ground yesterday, Ken? Because, you know, nothing bar the horse in the Fillies Mile did any good up the stand side, really. I'd say that my Acclaim with Frankie won up there as well, but majority of them won up the middle of the track, didn't they?
Yeah, very complimentary. The ground was quick, but just a little loose on top with the ground, where the rain got in, but otherwise it was good to firm ground, Seb.
Okay.
A Symposium then for Ken. Seb with Spring Fling.
Yeah, I'm just going to hedge my bets with Spring Fling, yeah.
And Alistair very quickly.
I'll take a chance on Cassia.
Cassia out to 7-1. Last one going forward will be Cassia. Ken, thank you very much. Be back in touch later.
Cheers, Luke.
Ken Pedersen trackside at Newmarket, where we are going for the first.
This event is now in play.
They're off, and they got away to quite a level break, although Spring Fling in the centre was just slightly squeezed back, with Sweet Dragonfly the first to show to advantage towards the far side, being followed by Secret Hint, and also right up there in the early going is Imtiaz. Meanwhile, the very small group towards the near side are being led by Gravity Flow, who has in the slipstream Platoon, and also Cassia is in that trio towards the near side. So they go towards the final half mile of the Boadicea Fillies Stakes, and in the centre of the course it's Pixeline coming through now together with the earlier Sweet Dragonfly, and still there is Imtiaz, then Mise-en Rose together with Symposium, being pushed on Secret Hint, then the light blue Stellata, another one who's already coming under a ride. Spring Fling has got more in front than behind. Dynamic Girl is also driven, and so too is Belle Desert. Meanwhile, with 2 furlongs to go the near side, Gravity Flow runs the rail and now just comes through to take the lead over Fatoon, and Cassia also staying on. So against the near side rail, Gravity Flow has the lead. Cassia giving chase in second. Now down the far side, Imtiaz tries to stay on together with Mise-en Rose, but it is now Cassia who has come through to take the lead over on the near side. Gravity Flow, these two fillies locked together as one. Cassia got the head bob. Gravity Flow in second, and back in third finished Mise-en Rose.
So evening at Newcastle, where we'll have plenty of time to go through all emails. Do get in touch. However, they're just about to start coming out onto the track over at Hexham. We are just about at post time. We'll be off to York pretty quickly. for their opening race of the day, the 2 o'clock. Then Chepstow, where their National Hunt card gets underway at 2:05 with a novices hurdle over 2 miles and 11 yards, won last year, but a Supreme Novices winner, Altior for Nicky Henderson and Nico de Boinville, those two not represented in the race this year. But first, we have Hexham for this 150 contest. They're coming into line now, where the favourite is still Boyna Bentley, 13-8 now, just eased out a touch with Black Ivory, 100-30 into 11-4, as they're not too far away from the tape. Let's go and take the call.
Grexit leading them out with Black Ivory. Walksburn Boy also with Gray's Choice. These 4 leading the other 9 runners out. Starter is ready. Been called in.
This event is now in play.
And they're off and racing. Racing then for the opening race. The Into Metro Centre Cross the Line and Dine maiden hurdle over 2.5 miles. And as they head towards the first flight, and Grexit is leading towards the inside in light blue sleeves. Also up there is Black Ivory with the noseband, the yellow and light blue. The stars of Walksburn Boy as they clear flight number 1. 1 or 2 ragged leaps towards the back of the field. The grey under a keen early hold is Silver Samurai, who just jumped out to the right. 1 or 2 of them jumped out to their right, in fact, as they take the next flight down the far side. And Cologne made a slight mistake in centre field. So as they come down the back straight, they've cleared 2 of the 10 flights of hurdles, and taking them along is Grexit by half a length here to Walksburn Boy, who is prominent as well. Then we have towards the inside Black Ivory. Then towards the outside Daydream Island with in 5th place Boyna Bentley, the white with the purple cap. Then we have the grey Cologne, red with a white cap, and wider still the other grey is Silver Samurai, still under a keen early pull here. Towards the rail is Mondlicht in red and yellow colours. Held up towards the back is Tawan, who's just moving around runners in the pink and light blue as they steady towards flight number 3. And they all take it safely. At the back of the field, Gray's Choice, as hurdling's been a little bit slow. So as they begin to climb up the hill and towards the home straight for the first time. And it's not been a bad early gallop here, being set by Grexit, and Harry Reid leads by half a length, maybe just steadying the tempo again as they race beyond all the sheep down that part of the track. In 2nd place is Black Ivory for Brian Hughes, and rides plenty of winners round here. Then Boyna Bentley, who's towards the rail. Also towards the left is Walksburn Boy, and they're being chased by Daydream Island in 5th place in yellow colours with the stripes on the sleeves. Cologne is next with Silver Samurai, the orange cross belts out to the left as they head towards the next. Flying Jack follows these in yellow with black cross belts as they all take the next. Again, Gray's Choice a bit sticky at the back of the field under Jonathan Bewley. Also towards the rear we have Scirocco Cloud, and another one who's towards the back at this very early stage is Kalahari. And in fact, at the back of the field, Gray's Choice is being pulled up. Gray's Choice is out of the race here, pulled up right in front of the stands. Just wasn't jumping of any fluency at all. So heading towards their next flight. We're down to 12 runners, and still taking them along here is Grexit. Grexit leads, but in fact out-jumped this time by Black Ivory, who moved alongside and in fact maybe just pressed on by a neck, although Grexit and Harry Reid still has that far side. Boyna Bentley and David Bass in 3rd place. Cologne's creeping closer, the grey towards the far side. Walksburn Boy is next as they head towards the next flight down the straight. And they all took that safely. No more than 6 lengths separates the whole pack here. In midfield we have Flying Jack in the yellow, the black cross belts, who's towards the inside rail. As they swing away, Kalahari's in behind that, and also 3/4 down now Daydream Island has just lost a few places. Tawan just pushed along for a stride or 2, and also Mondlicht coming under a little bit of pressure on the rail, as out wide is Silver Samurai. Scirocco Cloud is still towards the rear as well, so pace is beginning to lift again as they begin their journey towards the back straight, and they are pretty well bunched, but Grexit pressing on again by about 3/parts of a length here. To in 2nd place towards the outside is Black Ivory. These two have been there from the outset. In behind we have Cologne, and out to the left now Boyna Bentley getting clear daylight up the hurdles, and a few of these now towards the back beginning to struggle again as the tempo's lifted. Also improving towards the inside rail is Flying Jack. That's moved into 5th place, and they've pressed on now from Kalahari. We've lost one there. The greys come down. Cologne has come down, took a crashing fall when in contention as they head down this stretch of the course, and there's now probably 12 lengths between first and last. I can tell you that Sam Colterd is up on his feet. The horse is galloping on riderless. and it's still towards the inside Grexit here with Black Ivory. Boyna Bentley is well poised in third place. Right there as well, Flying Jack. Now, one who's trying to make some headway is Kalahari, although the jockey appears to have lost his irons in 5th position. Certainly looks in an uncomfortable position at this stage as Shane Shortall. Then we have in behind that in 6, Mondlicht, who's just trying to improve and stay on as they head towards the final flight down this part of the track. Black Ivory just about pressing on now from Grexit in 2nd place. Now getting reminders, improving Flying Jack, coming under pressure, Boyna Bentley as well. Then we have Kalahari, who's obviously running on pretty well considering the jockey seems to be having a very uncomfortable ride towards the outside. And then we have Mondlicht, who will try and stick on. So beginning the journey towards the home straight, and at the moment pressing on again is Black Ivory. Brian Hughes has the lead on Black Ivory by 2.5 lengths, going on from Flying Jack, who's under pressure. Kalahari, to his credit, is staying on really well in 3rd position despite the uncomfortable ride as they head down towards the final flight here. Black Ivory, though, is moving on by 4 or 5 lengths, being chased by Kalahari. He's running an extraordinary race in 2nd. Then comes Flying Jack and Mondlicht, the final flight. Black Ivory is in front, coming towards this near side rail from Flying Jack. Mondlicht trying to stay on, so's Kalahari, but racing up towards the line. Black Ivory under Brian Hughes being driven right out. Malcolm Jefferson's been coming second in plenty of races over the last 2 weeks, but has a winner today and beats Mondlicht.
It's pretty...
Hexham.
Yeah, it's always... Hexham's never great, is it?
No. It's always competitive. Say that, but York, we have a pretty good handicap coming up here with a mile the trip. 11 going to post, and Mythcal, the Silver Cambridgeshire winner, is the 9-2 favourite. 5-1 Showerhead, Weekend Defender also at 5-1 is the nap of our Naps table leader, Andy Holding. 13-2 from 8-1. About Storm Ahead, Just Hiss at 13-2, at 9-1 Another Touch, it's 11-1 Fighting Temeraire. Money for Jimenez for Brian Meehan, who had a winner at York yesterday afternoon. 20s into 14-1, 16-1 and Ali Day. King's Pavilion at 20s, 33s about Prosecute, the outsider of the field. A fair bit of weakness here, Seb, behind this market leader. Mythcal 7-2, out to 9-2 from Mick Appleby.
Yeah, he's coming to this in good form. But there's tons of pace in this race, and this horse likes racing up on the lead, and might just get taken off his feet here. He needed that extra furlong at Newmarket. Jimenez is the one that's attracting some support, and the last time it ran over a mile, he won very, very nice at Sandown over a mile. Since he's been stepped to the monocord, hasn't quite been staying, but he is by acclamation, which is plenty of speed. So this drop-in trip could be a big plus. I thought Storm Ahead is just about handicapped well enough, but there's not many improvers in this race, I don't think. So I'm going to hedge my bets with Jimenez and Storm Ahead. I can't split them.
That's a fairly wide open start to things, isn't it? That's
Yes, it is.
So do you want to call you Tim, or?
No, I don't want to be called bloody Tim.
It's funny, I told you.
It is, it just tickles me every time you call me Tim.
Come on, Tim.
It's my middle name.
Is it really?
No.
Ah.
Robert. Seb said that there's a lot of pace in this race, and
This event will start in 60 seconds.
he's right, and that'll help
60
Weekend
seconds.
Defender, who has to be held up and delivered with one late lunge. Forget Haydock last time, finished 3rd. Totally fluffed the start.
Where Blindfold was released late, wasn't it?
Removed very late. Based on that performance, then this horse is certainly still on a workable mark. And if he gets away on terms here, and granted, plenty of pace up front, then I think this is going to be one to suit. I think he's very solid.
Weekend Defender at
event
5-1. 5 is also for
30
Mythcal, who's drifting now,
30
out from 7-2. The drift has continued. 11-2 about Showerhead, 7-1 Storm Ahead, and Just Hiss. 8s and bigger the remainder. A bit of money though for Another Touch. 10s into 8s, and Jimenez 16s into 10s. What do you make of the market move on Brian Meehan's runner here guys? Jimenez 16s into 10s.
10
Well,
seconds.
I mean, they obviously thought it would stay, and it hasn't been staying, and in decent company too. So, going back to his Sandown form, it puts him in here with a great chance. He's off a decent enough mark, and I can understand the support, and he may well have come to himself this time of year, and he's probably been showing a fair bit on the gallop. So
the Yard are in flying form as well. 3 from the last 5, including a couple of winners here at York yesterday afternoon at 16s. And
yeah, they ran really well here yesterday, and ran with like they've got plenty of energy. They outstayed the fields yesterday. They didn't outsprint them, they outstayed them, and which is always a good sign. They've got plenty of petrol or plenty of energy in them.
It was a bit bigger earlier on, 20s now into 10-1, so halving in price is Jimenez as the last few preparing to go forward over at York for their first race of the day. King's Pavilion yet to go forward, Just Hiss also about to go into stall 10. I'm still waiting for the top weight, or joint top weight, another touch to go forward in the hands of Tony Hamilton. Then we should be set and ready to go. One final look at the betting. 5-1 joint favourites, Weekend Defender and Mythcarl. 6-1 Showerhead. It's then 7s for Storm Ahead and Just Hiss. 8-1 from 10s, another touch. Fighting Temeraire at 10-1, the same as Jimenez, who is the gamble of the race. It's 16s and bigger the remainder. As for the first time today, we go to York.
This event is now in play.
And they're off over a mile in the Coral Stakes. Prosecute in the pale blue, the slowest to leave the stalls and crosses to the inside running rail. Jimenez in a blue and green jacket away well with King's Pavilion in the silver silks and Showerhead the striped cap. And at the end of a furlong is just about King's Pavilion and Jimenez who take them along. To Showerhead and Alliday in the dark blue. Storm Ahead close to the rail. Weekend Defender black and white jacket tracks them. Mythcarl in the orange and black is caught wide as they head into the turn, and then another touch around the inside of Fighting Temeraire from Just Hiss in the blue and green, and Prosecute looks on from last place. So they head towards the end of the third furlong and reach the crown of the turn. Jimenez around the outer of King's Pavilion, tracting third by Showerhead, a blue and white jacket, and Storm Ahead around the inside of Weekend Defender. Another touch and Alliday, the next pair into the straight, to Fighting Temeraire in a green and yellow jacket, and then Just Hiss and Prosecute is still looking on. They're beyond halfway, heading on down now towards the final 3 furlongs. The tempo is lifting. Jimenez trading blows with King's Pavilion. Mythcarl is shaken up in the slipstream as Showerhead. Just Hiss away to the left is beginning to make ground. Out on the right, Storm Ahead, and Weekend Defender in the black and white moving through to mount his challenge. On down towards the last quarter mile they come. King's Pavilion, Jimenez tackled by Weekend Defender. Storm Ahead, another touch in the red and green is now bursting through. Down the near side, Showerhead and Just Hiss. Prosecute running on from the rear. Down inside the last furlong they come. Weekend Defender has moved through, but he's edging left. He hampered a couple of them badly. Another touch is challenging, and Just Hiss is finishing off strongly on the near side. Weekend Defender, another touch as they go for the line. Weekend Defender had his nose down. Saw off another touch, Just Hiss, and Storm Ahead in fourth. Got a bit rough late on.
Weekend Defender takes the first of the day over at York. 5-1 joint favourites, holds off the challenge of another touch on the far side, and also staying on. Just Hiss shaped quite well back in third place. Unfortunately, Alistair, Seb's left the building for the moment, but me and you for now.
That's 2-0 to me, Seb. Oh, he's gone.
he called me a tart and left. Not sure why.
Well, no, I'm not sure why.
Mean, isn't it?
Anyway.
Mean. We'll bring you the SPs over at York as and when they come through, because for now we have to head off to Chepstow for the 2:05. Good the soft
racing.
good the soft in places, I should say. They have watered over at Chepstow as well, where Casper King is the 13-8 favourite. 5-2 Capeland, 4-1 Geordie Deschamps, 9-2 and now that Geordie Deschamps, and 9-2 also for Call to Order. 25s and bigger the rest. Altior won this race last year. Alistair, I'm not saying we're going to get another Supreme Novices winner here, but nonetheless, it's a nice segue.
This event will start in 60 seconds. 60 seconds.
He was a lunatic when he won this last year as well. Did everything wrong, pulled away too hard, and
Casper King. I mean, he's
You're right there, boss.
I think he's.
What was that?
I can't say. I think he's short enough at 7. Was he 13-8?
Who's that?
Casper King.
Casper King is 13-8, 7-4 now.
Yeah, that's short enough.
Yeah,
because he's up against
this event starts in 30 seconds.
He's got the best form this horse. I mean, he's got 4 seconds to his name, but don't count that against him. He's simply bumped into very decent opposition, and last time at Wincanton was beaten by Gala Ball, stablemate, of course, who's rated highly over hurdles now, very capable handicapper. I think a repeat of that will be enough to win this, but obviously there's some unknown quantities lurking. Capeland in particular won its only start in France, and then a listed bumper at Cheltenham, clearly falls into the could be anything category for Top Connections.
Is it a worry for Capeland that we didn't actually see him after winning that Cheltenham bump?
I suppose it is, yeah. I mean, I don't know why.
I haven't seen anything. But
I think the fact he's got a real soft ground pedigree, this horse, and the ground was heavy at Cheltenham, and it could be that he just handled the conditions better than better than anything else. I think the form is definitely a tad dubious because the ground, I remember that it was.
I was there that day. It was.
Yeah. It was horrendous. Call to Order's a nice type as well. Obviously, top connections and got finished third on its hurdling debut at Doncaster behind horse of Alan King's, name escapes me, in the McManus colours.
Winter Escapes, yeah.
Winter Escape,
the King horse, yeah.
Absolutely. Which was a perfectly respectable start. Yeah. So he's a contender as well, but I think everything point, and the Hobbs, the Hobbs stable at this time of year would always hit the ground running. So I just think Casper King could be the one for today.
Well, I hope they hit the ground running because I've napped one of his later on.
Have you now?
In Bravos.
Interesting. I like the horse's attitude.
I think he's just.
Not sure he's that well handicapped.
The last 2 seasons, I think he's been just a big frame of a horse. He's not. He's still got plenty of. Well, last year had plenty of filling out left to do. His second to Starch Attack is reading all right now. Starch Attack could well win the Cesarovich.
Could well.
A bit later on, so. I think that form's all right.
And I think Chepstow suited better than Newton Abbott.
Absolutely. So that's one of the main things. He never went a yard round Newton Abbott. But for the first, Casper King is favourite for Philip Hobbs and Richard Johnson. Capeland at 9-4 for Paul Nichols and Sam Twiston Davis. 4-1 Call to Order. 5's Geordie Deschamps. 33's and Bigger the Rest. Off and Racing.
And Endall, the first of the 11 to show in front as they run down to number 1 of 8 flights of hurdles they'll take. Simple as that. Blue Jacket and Pink Cap is free in second position, and then Casper King in the red colours, who rather breasts it, and the rear there, Big Chip and Pin has unseated Robert Dunn. So Big Chip and Pin is out of the race at the first obstacle. Horse and rider both okay as the remaining 10 run downhill at the end of the home straight. Be All and End All is the leader. So I'm in second position, simple as that. The red jacket of Casper King, who's keen early on, runs just in third position from Yates Baby. The yellow hoop jacket of Geordie Deschamps is around the outside of runners, and then Capeland, who is against the running rail, holding sixth position at this stage. Major Hindrance in yellow and blue goes widest around the outside from Quarry Wizard in the grey and blue jacket, who's alongside Call to Order, and Without Frontier in pale colours of light blue and pink is in company with those as they've completed their first half mile and raced down the far side. Be All and End All is a 1 length leader over Simple as That as they run on towards the second flight of hurdles. A red of Casper King holding third position, but Yates Baby is almost level with this as they jump over number 2. And then the white cap of Geordie Deschamps right in the centre, all dark blue, is Call to Order. Dark blue, the pink epaulets of Capeland is running on the inner of the track next to him. Then comes Major Hindrance, who's widest of all from Without Frontier as they jump over 3, and just the back marker there was Quarry Wizard. One more to take over on the far side of the course to Wellbunch Field. There's only going to be 8 lengths first to last here as they move to flight number 4 with Be All and End All leading narrowly to Simple as That in second place, in the red of Casper King from Geordie Deschamps, who's almost level with that. Yates Baby between them. She's now just losing 1 position as Capeland goes up towards the inside of her. Major Hindrance is next, and then comes Call to Order, who's in the centre of Without Frontier in light blue and pink, and Quarry Wizard in the blue and grey colours as they move downhill at the end of the back straight. They have 4 flights in the home straight to jump in this tote play spot National Hunt Novices Hurdle. Lead is still with Paul Maloney on Be All and End All. Chased by Simple as That, a length behind in second place. Casper King is a half length further back against the rails in red. Geordie Deschamps, Barry Geraghty, green, yellow, white jacket round the outer, and then Sam Twiston Davis on Capeland against the running rail. Major Hindrance in yellow and blue lobs along round the outside of those as Yates Baby continues to lose places. Then Call to Order in company with Quarry Wizard as they're about to level up into the home straight then and down inside the final 5 furlongs. Without Frontiers just fractionally now the back marker. Plenty going well though. Be All and End All on the right is just the leader. Simple as That, Casper King, and with those Geordie Deschamps as they jump over it to Capeland, making a little bit of progress behind those is Call to Order. 3 more to jump from here. Still Be All and End All from Casper King and Simple as That, and Capeland making progress going into 4th from Geordie Deschamps. In behind those is Call to Order. Less than 3 furlongs to go. 2 flights to jump now. On the right, Casper King in the red jacket. Didn't jump it too well, but he's come through. But he's joined immediately by Cape Land on the extreme right. And then Be All and End All on the left, who's still running on well. And Jody Deschamps between those. And then Simple as That. And there are 4 virtually in line as they head down to the last. Cape Land on the right, challenging Jody Deschamps. And between the pair was the red jacket of Casper King. Casper King in front. Jody Deschamps, though, is galvanised by Barry Geraghty and grabs the lead late on.
This
Jody
event has
Deschamps,
been
well
suspended.
punted, won it. Casper King in second, Cape Land in third, pace setting Be All and End All was next, and then Simple as That.
Rebecca Curtis takes the first of the day at Chepstow in the form of Jody Deschamps for Barry Geraghty and JP McManus. Back in second was Casper King for Philip Hobbs and Richard Johnson, and Capeland was on the far side as well for Paul Nicholls and Sam Twiston Davis. The big guns are back, and back with a bit of style.
Yeah, it's a nice performance. It only won at Foss last time out. I mean, I'm not sure what that told us, but obviously they thought it good enough to run in the big one at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Nice looking horse. Clearly, it always is a good novice hurdle, that, and this year's race is no exception. I think the front 3 have come a long way clear, and they look potentially above average. I mean, they didn't go a great deal of pace, and yet they've sort of quickened up pretty smartly, I'd say.
So just looking at him, there's a bit
warmer she walked around, so a slight negative regarding her.
romantic view then. Now out to 11 to 1. A few being backed, 12s and 10s for Island Vision, and the same market move for Ahmed Della V. 12 and 14 on the race card.
Well, Ahmed Della V, negative, didn't like her. Her coat was gone, didn't like the look of her. Island Vision, couldn't tell her because they kept a rug on her, so I couldn't see her at all.
Right. That's one of the first ones going down the post as well, Island Vision, with Jim Crowley on board.
Ken,
yes, sir.
Are we going to have a scrap over this Stands Rail this race or not?
No, I think you might be right there. Watching that race.
I think they're going to be packed in like sardines. I mean, I wonder if any of them will take the chance of going up that far rail, you know. I don't know why they stay away from it, Ken, honestly. But you know what they're like. All the pacers up the stand side with Patsy last race, they're going to be thinking, oh, that's the best ground now, and they're going to be packed down there like sardines. I think we're going to have a few unlucky runners in here. Ken.
It's possible. I mean, they said the ground is a little bit slower than the off. There's a bit more juice in it, but the ground's perfect. But like you said, going on the first race, they're going to come the stand side to the best, which they perceive is the best ground.
The first two home were both at stand side in a very small group of 3. Bigger prices, Ken. Anything sticking out for the future?
I'm going to stick up each race, Flying North. Good draw in 14. Fortunately, look well, progressive. Each way, I think Flying North will give us a good run for money.
Flying North, a winner for Maiden at Ascot last time around, is 14 to 1 for Richard Hannon and Timmy Murphy. Alistair, we'll start off with you over at Newmarket.
Okie doke. I'm going to go with Harmonise. Shown a pleasing level of consistency, and I think last time bumped into a horse with group race potential on a handicap debut.
This event has been suspended.
I mean, that was a competitive race, similar level to this. I mean, there could be a couple of improvers lurking here, but I think she is very solid.
Is Ken still on the line?
Of course he is.
Ken, what about Textured?
Yeah, didn't mind her. She looked okay. I wouldn't say she looked great, but she just looks okay.
I just feel like with all them going to jam down on that inside, she looks the pick of the ones that are drawn right up the fence. I'm good. I'll have a little. I'll side with the
This
Textured.
event will start in 60
just
seconds.
through the draw because
60 seconds.
I feel this is going to be an absolute jam up this rail.
Textured 20 to 1 from 14, so is a bit of a drifter for Sir Michael Stout and Ryan Moore. Ken, you're siding with Flying North.
Yeah, Flying North each race, Luke.
Flying North at 14 to 1. We didn't get to ask you before the first. What's your nap of the day?
I've napped for Dance a lot at York. I think the track was suiting slightly better than when he ran here. The draw,
this event starts
at the draw,
in 30
I just think he's such a big horse with loads of improvement to come. I thought his last horse was his best, so yeah, I think there's more to come from Sir Dance a lot today.
Sir Dance a lot then. In the 310.
Yeah.
Over at York. I have to say about the draw, there were runners stand side yesterday that were getting competitive, so I think it's evening itself out a little bit.
I hope so.
I hope for you as well, because I backed him, which is the bad news.
Would have backed everything.
Shouldn't have told me that, Nick. Shouldn't have told me that.
I know. I apologise, Ken. I do apologise.
Can't focus on your work if you have too many bets, Luke.
I never do that anyway. So, but me and Ken, whenever we agree, we've yet to have a winner together.
Yes.
It's a good system for layers.
It's a sorry tell.
On that happy note, Ken, we'll let you go as a starting loading over at Newmarket. Best of luck here with Flying North.
Thanks, Luke.
It's uncanny how many horses me and Ken can get beaten by both fancying it. It's impressive almost.
This Harmonise is being well back 9-1. I think the Luke Morris fan club are out in force, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just to shade out to 10-1 is Harmonise. 11s into 9s back out to 10-1 about half.
I mean, this Armabilis, right? When it ran at Beverley, I mean, it was a dead heat, and to be fair, it was beat, but I just feel it's going to run out of steam here. I really feel for it here. I know it's 7 furlongs at Beverley and whatever, but with this amount of runners in the race, it was free enough at Beverley. I just feel that it's not going to get home up this hill, you know.
I thought at the time that race was pretty weak as a maiden, but Rutherford back in 4th has gone to be a very close second at Leicester the time after. Songmaker was 3rd, has been 2nd at Kempton after that. It's looking okay on the form angle. But
it just for me, it just had a weakness in the finish, I thought.
And the last one about to go in, Night Law into stall number 4, all loaded.
This event is
and
now in
they're
play.
off. A step slow away was Parsnip as they go through the early stages. Amabilis again wasn't that quickly away and is hustled up early by Franberry, and he's having to choose which group to go to, and he's coming now towards the near side. Indeed, most now coming towards this near side rail, and it is High on Love who has claimed the rail and takes the early lead. Seduce Me, the yellow colours, racing in 2nd, a Romantic View towards the outside in 3rd with 5 furlongs to go. Flying North is on their heels, and then the blue cap textured against the near side rail. Ame La Vie is in midfield together with Honourable. Racing alongside that one is Fire Palace. Chased long out wide is Fastnet Spin. These are then being followed by the push long Harmonise. Next in the field is Island Vision, just in advance then of the slow starting Anabilis. Then Tara Celeb, who's got more in front than behind. They're already through the halfway point. Night Law at the moment is last but one. The back marker is Quick Thought. Still towards the rear of the field is Parsnip. They've got 2 furlongs to go. Romantic View taken on now by Flying North towards the near side. Seduce Me is still there between rivals. Over on the far side is Fire Palace. Then on the near side is Ame La Vie, who is staying on, and so too is Island Vision. Just after these Harmonise, they race now inside the final furlong. It's Timmy Murphy and Flying North towards the near side. Island Vision. Island Vision has got the rail to help, and she's now taken the lead, and it is Island Vision and Jim Crowley. Island Vision to take the nursery. In 2nd place was Flying North, and then against the near side rail, Ame La Vie got up for 3rd.
Well, Island Vision wins for David Simcock, and champion jockey-elect Jim Crowley returns at 11-1. Back in 2nd, Flying North, and 3rd, running a big race, Ame de la Vie continues to be a maiden, but severe promise there shown from Richard Fahey's representative. Island Vision, though, it is that comes home in front. Seven, we're just talking.
Well, I know I picked the wrong one up the stands rail, but Island Vision drawn 16, Flying North drawn 14, Ame La Vie drawn 15. Tells its own tale. You know, and they pull well
This
clear
event
of
will
the
start in
horses
60
drawn
seconds.
low. So
60 seconds.
you know, I think in these big fields now, the jockeys drawn low have got to use their brains and do something else because they can't get a blow at them.
No man's land, aren't they?
Yep.
And say, Timmy Murphy letting. If Timmy Murphy got to the rail on Flying North, I think that there's only one result.
Yeah,
Flying North
it
would have
made
been
the
second.
winner have to work to get around him.
Yeah.
And if you've got a rail to run up against, get on it.
Yeah.
And
This event
fight for your
starts
life
in
for it.
30 seconds.
So
In
Island
30
Vision
seconds.
takes a second of the day over at Newmarket as we're straight off now to Hexham for the 2:25. We've got a novice handicap chase coming up over at 2.5 miles, where 28 Guns is the 3-1 market leader. 4-1 about Reva Badiva, 11-2 for Quick Brew. Money coming in for Innes Shannon, 15-2
10
into
seconds.
11-2, 13-2 Chain of Beacons, 10s and bigger the remainder here. Alistair, let's go to Hexham.
Oh, you want a tip?
I'd love a tip. Not that you've ever tipped before in your life, but
28 guns for me. Michael Scudamores horses are in good early season form. I like the fact this horse is being backed, given it's been off for 176 days. It's perfectly well handicapped on the pick of its hurdle form and has yet to win a race, but not through a lack of effort. I think she's quite interesting.
Let's have a look at one down at the start. Hope for Glory looks as if she's been checked over by the, or he's been checked over by the vet, and Tommy Dowson's jumped off now.
Some of the form figures on show here, I mean, half of these are woefully out of touch.
Well, Tommy Dowson.
Take a lot of winning.
So Tommy Dowson has jumped off at Hope for Glory now. So we'll bring you news on when that comes through.
Going, is he?
But no, it looks as if Hope for Glory won't be taking part in this contest. Indeed, now Hope for Glory has been taken out. So at 10, go to post. Seb.
I'm going to plump with River Bovediva. She was a bit keen last time, having had a good break off. I imagine she'll be a bit more relaxed, drop back in trip, and they haven't had to travel too far to get to Hexham, I don't think, so I'll go with River Bovediva.
River Bovediva then for Lucinda Russell, Derek Fox and Seb Sanders on side as well. 7-2 joint favourite alongside 28 guns. 5-1 Inish Shannon from 7-1. It's 11-2 and bigger the remainder. Just say, Seb, you've put the markers on another horse over at Newmarket with Flying North at the front. You've congratulated Seb on you've congratulated Ken on his victory.
Yeah, every time I open my mouth, the last furlong, I don't know. I think there's a sniper. There's listening to William on radio, and every time I say that, a sniper pulls out what is it? Was it a gun or something?
Stun gun.
Was it a noise or what? What was the name of the horse? Ildersheep.
Yeah, what's Ildersheep?
Ildersheep. They said he got lasered or something.
Yeah, lasered. Guy Harwood.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's good.
Ducked across the track, didn't he?
Gravel Starkey.
Yeah. And Ildersheep was ridden by Tony Clark and won the Benson Hedges then, which is now the Juddmonte.
Yeah, you're right.
Beat Cothis.
Coming into line.
Novices handicap chase. They race over 2.5 miles. Old Storm on the inside of Coulanier, in between River Bovediva, and these three are wrestling for the lead as they head towards their first fence. And coming down towards it, Old Storm leads. Slight mistake by Coulanier, 1 or 2 ragged leaps. Touch of Steel first race over offences, made a mistake at the first obstacle. The back pair at this very early juncture are Inish Shannon and also Quick Brew, who's in the light green colours towards the inside. So heading towards plain fence number 2. Coulanier and Old Storm are vying for the lead. Old Storm makes a mistake and is gone. Old Storm is gone, and the others have done well to avoid him, to be honest. And let's hope the horse and jockey can get up okay. Old Storm coming down, the horse is galloping on. Keep an eye on Henry Brook for you as they head down towards fence number 3 then. And Coulanier leads here by a length to Reverse the Charge. He's very keen now in second place. Chain of Beacons has moved up towards the outside in third, with River Bovediva towards the rail. Then in behind that we have Coop Street, and then towards the rail Black Sleeves of 28 guns, and then Quick Brew, and also towards the back of the field as they take their next fence. And they are pretty well strung out already here. We've lost another one towards the back of the field. Try and pick it up for you in a moment, but we've lost another one right towards the rear. So over the next plain fence down the far side, and they are stretching out here already. Coulanier and the keen pulling Reverse the Charge. Chain of Beacons in third place. River Bodiva's towards the inside, with out wide Coop Street. Then in behind these, being switched out deep, Quick Brew, with towards the inside 28 guns. And a bit of a gap back to Touch of Steel. And looking back through the field here, River Bodiva was the one we lost. River Bodiva then, in fact, beg your pardon, River Bodiva is still there, beg your pardon, my mistake, towards the rail. Apologies for that, as they head down the home straight. And still taking them along here is Coulanier to, in second place, Reverse the Charge. Chain of Beacons, River Bodiva's in behind these with Coop Street, and then 28 guns. And then Quick Brew is out to the left as they jump their next fence right in front of us. Mistake towards the back by Touch of Steel. And get it right this time, it was Inish Shannon. Inish Shannon was the one who came down at the back of the field. So Inish Shannon was the one we did lose. As they head over the next fence, and the leading pair are all over safely. Reverse the Charge, with out towards the left Coulanier, just jumping a little bit out to the right. River Bodiva right there on the rail, the yellow sleeves.
This event starts in 30
head over their next fence, coming away from us. Chain of Beacons is out towards the left. Then we have Coop Street, who's in 5th place. And then in behind these, we have Quick Brew, and also wedged at the back, 28 guns, whose jumping's been pretty good so far under Adam Wedge. So heading to their final fence down this part of the course, and Reverse the Charge is still in the lead here from Coulanier, who's now up sides again. Then Chain of Beacons, who's been jumping pretty nicely to this point. And right in behind them, Quick Brew, who was right out the back early on, has made good inroads. Towards the rail is Riva Badiva. And then in behind these towards the rail, 28 Guns, and then out wide is Coop Street, and Touch of Steel is struggling to lie up with them now as they race out onto their final circuit. So we've lost 2 in this race so far. Reverse the Charge, though, who was very keen through the first 3/4 of a mile, goes on by a length. Riva Badiva towards the inside rail, then out wide Coulanier, who's in 3rd place. Chain of Beacons running a little bit wider of runners with Quick Brew. Towards the inside is 28 Guns as they head towards the next fence down the far side. Reverse the Charge is leading. From in 2nd place, Riva Badiva in those yellow sleeves and cap. Out wide getting a reminder, Coulanier. Quick Brew tanking through the race in 4th place. Towards the inside, 28 Guns. Then Chain of Beacons in 6th place. Pushed along now Coop Street, and a long gap back to Touch of Steel. So racing, in fact, they're going to miss this next fence down the far side here. It's been cordoned off. The jockey just receiving attention. And as they head down towards the next couple of fences, the race beginning to develop in earnest here. So Reverse the Charge, still leading from Riva Badiva, who's on the inside. Then we have Quick Brew, who, as I said, has been tanking through the race. Chain of Beacons getting interested again in 4th place with 28 Guns. And then we have Coulanier as they head towards the final 3 fences. Quite a long run to this final open ditch. Reverse the Charge in front from Quick Brew in 2nd. Chain of Beacons in 3rd with Riva Badiva. And then 28 Guns. And Quick Brew has made really good progress. Mistake by 28 Guns. That one made a bad error there, that open ditch, as they head towards the final fence down this part of the course. Quick Brew on the outside of Reverse the Charge. Then Riva Badiva. Chain of Beacons is now moving into 3rd place as they begin to climb. And quite a long run towards the final fence. And still a little way to go in this race. And as they continue their journey, Quick Brew's in front, being almost still travelling very strongly at this point. To in 2nd place, Reverse the Charge. Chain of Beacons is trying to respond to pressure, is beginning to improve under Stephen Fox, moves into a clear 2nd. They're clear of Riva Badiva. So heading towards the final fence, it is Quick Brew by 2.5 lengths to Chain of Beacons, who gives chase. Final fence, good jump by Quick Brew, goes on by 3 lengths. Chain of Beacons has not given up in 2nd place, has got 2 lengths to find. Quick Brew is in front. Chain of Beacons is beginning to close the gap, racing well inside the final 3 parts of a furlong. Quick Brew being driven out from Chain of Beacons, who just can't close the gap. Quick Brew is finding a little bit more under Darabog, and Quick Brew will win. Travelled really well throughout the race and stays on to beat Chain of Beacons, who promised much in 2nd. Reverse the Charge hangs on for 3rd. 28 Guns made that bad error at a key stage, and then came Riva Badiva, and still finishing in behind, it looks like Touch of Steel will finish, and so will Coop Street.
Well, Hope for Glory is pulled out down at the start for Maurice Barnes, but his other representative here wins with Quick Brew, with Darragh Bourke on board, taking £5 off. It was a pretty eventful sort of race, but Quick Brew wins fairly cosily over at Hexham, as we're straight off now to York for their next live action. The 2:35 is upon us, a 10 furlong handicap, and a pretty competitive one as well. It's going to be pretty similar throughout the course of the afternoon over at York. Great order, the 3-1 favourite, 4-1 Central Square. Côte d'Azur is at 5-1. 6 is about Autocratic. It's 8-1 then Dolphin Vista. Snoano at 10-1. 14's Fat Sota. 16-1 Oasis Fantasy. Chancery at 25-1. And Lord Ben Stack is the non-runner here. So Seb, as Alistair conveniently goes and makes a Quick Brew, it's me and you for York.
Yeah, I think Roger Varian's horses are running in decent enough form, and I think this Central Square is improving as the season's been going on, and I think this can be another step forward. Obviously, you've got Lord Ben Stack, that's won his last 2. Great order. Comes into this race with some solid form. Dolphin Vista won last time. Côte d'Azur has been running solidly. Very, very competitive event, but I just feel the Central Square could be going on to better things, and could be, it could be very competitive in a listed race, I think. So I'm going to side with Central Square.
Central Square at 4-1 over at York. 9 go to post. The main danger to Central Square?
Well, you'd have to think Saeed's horse, Great Order.
This event is now in play.
Is coming here with, with a good vein of form. I just don't feel it's quite got the class of Central Square, but on the handicap, it should be able to give it a race of some degree. But I mean, they're not the only 2 horses in the race. They're just the 2 I felt have stand out in this kind of race, and You know, there's a few others in the race that you'd have to take into account. David O'Meara's horses were on fire yesterday, so you know, Fat Sota you wouldn't discount. But no, I'm going to side with Central Square.
Just an update over at Hexham. I think it was Henry Brook that came off Old Storm. He's still down and being attended to by the medics on track. So we'll hope Henry Brook is okay. Medics, so we say, are still attending to him. At York, though, last one is going forward for their second race of the day. Weekend Defender took the opener. Great Order will be the last one to go into the stalls for their second of the afternoon. For Said Bin Saror and Kevin Stott, 3-1 favourite. Let's see, as he gets one final push, if he can be the first one to come home.
They're ready.
This event is now in play.
They're off. Oasis Fantasy, Central Square, Grey Jacket and Snowana to varying degrees all missed the break. Fat Sota in the green and white is the first to break the line with 10 furlongs ahead of them in the down low, the Coral App handicap. The white-faced Côte d'Azur are racing handily on the near side of Dolphin Vista as they head into their first turn. Great Order, Blue Jacket dropping into fourth place, stalking the leading trio early on. And then the nose-banded Chancery next door to Autocratic in the red, white and blue. Snoano, black and red jacket, are weighted with from that sluggish start. And likewise Oasis Fantasy and Central Square at the back of the fields in the hands of Paul Moran and the Grey Silks. Fairly serene early progress across the nose mile. They pass the 7 marker. And it's Fat Sota doing it on his own terms in front by a length and a half to Dolphin Vista. Great Order has moved around the outer of the fairly keen going Côte d'Azur. Autocratic sitting in midfield wide of Chancery the rail. And that pair tracked by Snoano from Oasis Fantasy in a red and yellow jacket, and still Central Square looking on from last place. Passing the halfway point, and Fat Sota and James Doyle continue to dominate the field. Dolphin Vista quite happy to take a lead. Great Order close up, disputing third with Côte d'Azur the rail, in turn tracked by Autocratic from Chancery the noseband, then working back to Snoano, who's still under a waiting ride from Oasis Fantasy, and finally Central Square. They're inside the last half mile. They're just tending to drift a little off that far side running rail, and Fat Sota now is upping the ante. Dolphin Vista though moving through to challenge. Great Order, Blue Jacket drawing up size. Côte d'Azur with the white face joining in as well. Autocratic extreme right improving. Snoano, red and black jacket, is driven to try and get on terms. Bit of a dash down to the last quarter mile here. Autocratic has moved through on the far side to come and take Côte d'Azur and Dolphin Vista. Great Order though still very much in the thick of the action. On down towards the last furlong. Autocratic and Great Order. These two now moving on together and beginning to break clear. Autocratic digging in for Durkin's urgings. Great Order just shifting off a true line close home, and Autocratic is coming home the stronger. Autocratic keeps Great Order at bay. Very close for third between Central Square, who was never nearer, and upsides Côte d'Azur.
Autocratic returns the 11-2 winner at York for Sir Michael Stout and Ted Durkin. Great Order made him pull out all the stops but could not get past it in the end. It's tight for third place. It could well have been Central Square coming through for that position. It's going to be very tight between himself and Côte d'Azur, so we'll leave that one up to the judge as we head off to Chepstow now for a 2 mile 3 furlong mares novices hurdle. Their National Hunt card continues with the 240, and Colin's sister is the 15-8 market leader. At 4, Fergal O'Brien and Paddy Brennan. 7-2, Ivor's Queen. Let's Hope So at 5-1. 6s about Maribel Millie. 8-1, Bells on Sunday. 14s and bigger the remainder. Alistair, welcome back.
Hello.
Let's talk Chepstow.
Yes, this is the only race I didn't do in the paper, which isn't great, is it? But
I was relying on you.
Yeah, I mean, this. I think the market's got this right with Colin's sister favourites.
This event will start in 60 seconds.
To be second in a listed bumper at Sandown behind a horse of Warren Greatrix is called the Nipper, and you know, for a mare's flat race, that's pretty strong form. I think there were 8 last time out winners in the race. 5 of them were unbeaten, so it's, you know, you couldn't knock the form, and there's no doubt, you know, this mare has a pedigree to go on to better things now hurdling, and she's a worthy market leader. Stable,
this event starts in 30
generally in
seconds.
good form this time of year. Get them straight at home. So yeah, Colin's sister for me.
Colin's sister at 2-1. A bit of money coming in for Ivor's Queen. 9-2 into 7-2. It's been a touch disappointing as of late, though, guys.
Yeah.
Well, in saying that, it ran decent enough when it finished third last time, and it's got form with Let's Hope. They beat it to 19 lengths, so that's a hell of a lot of ground to make up. I'll go with Ivers Queen, but difficult race to make a decision, really.
Well, Ivers Queen 9-2 into 130 as we are just now about at post time over at Chepstow. They are coming into line as well, so if you are getting involved, last chance to do so. Colin's Sister 2-1 favourite, 130 Ivers Queen, who's shying away from the tape at the start, but all off and running.
A little bit to her left, right as we look down the track, but still ends up being in front as they move down to the first of 11 flights of hurdles they have here. The noseband of Bells on Sunday is just about in second place, and Honor Promise in a maroon jacket is close with her, and Dalton Glance is down. Dalton Glance has unseated Andrew Tinkler at the first flight of hurdles. The remaining 8 move down to number 2 now, with Ivers Queen moving on to a 3 or 4 length advantage. Andrew safely up on his feet after his tumble at the first. Honor Promise, maroon jacket, a white face mare, is over in second place from Bells on Sunday as a wash with sweat beforehand, nose banded, and then Let's Hope So in white and dark blue colours nearest to the grandstand. Favourite Colin's Sister, green jacket, yellow stripes on the sleeves, is alongside Queen's Well as they move down to number 4. Miss Maiden Nova, mainly red jacket, white sleeves, is 2 lengths behind those, and at this stage Meribel Millie in orange and black colours is the back marker, with the loose horse Dalton Glance following them on as they race downhill at the end of the home straight in this Tote Scoop 6 Mares Novices Hurdle. It's a good lead for Ivers Queen, who now moves left-handed and is about to run uphill. Madam Richard Johnson in red colours would be at least 7 lengths ahead. Jordan Williams follows on best turned out winner Honor Promise as they race up to the far side of the course and on towards number 5. The orange and blue is Bells on Sunday. Tommy O'Brien riding the nose-banded runners just ahead of favourite Colin's Sister, Paddy Brennan, mainly green jacket, who goes the shortest way. He's just about level with Daryl Jacob on Let's Hope So in white and dark blue colours. There's about 2 lengths behind those two, Queen's Well and Brendan Powell in the light blue and green. Miss Maiden Nova, a white cap, is next for Connor Schumacher alongside Meribel Millie, and black and orange colours is Noel Feely as they all took 5 safely and make the run down to number 6 and move to the halfway stage. About a 6 or 7 length advantage still for Ivers Queen. In second position, getting over it, well, it's still just the white face of Honor Promise, although she's almost been joined by market leader Colin's Sister as they move down to the last one over the far side. Bells on Sunday behind those, and then Let's Hope So from Queen's Well, Miss Maiden Nova and Meribel Millie, the next couple of runners, as they're about to have the downhill run on the far side of the course. It's a long run now to 4 from the finish. The last 4 flights all in the home straight. The favourite Colin's Sister's moved up through into second position now. She's about 5 lengths off.